Welcome to Black Belt Beauty Radio, a podcast fueled by a passion to support your journey in developing your most beautiful and optimal performance in life. Each episode is driven with the intention to elevate your mind. When we elevate our mind, we elevate our life. So get ready. It's time to rise. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Black Belt Beauty Radio. In today's solo-sode, I am going to take one of my very rich captioned Instagram posts and tease it out for you. So in the earlier days of this podcast, I would call this an Instasode, but we're just going with solo-sode now. For those of you who are new to the show, welcome. If you're not already in my Instagram community, I would love to have you there, to connect with you there. I'm very active with my community. I'm at Roxy Look. I'm also at Black Belt Beauty, but my personal IG is Roxy Look, and that is where I'm going to be reading this specific post from. So the post is as follows: 3 principles that build self-trust. Number 1, be of your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Number 2, learn to listen and act from your intuition. The heart leads the way. Number 3, embrace uncertainty with optimism and boldness. Be loyal to your potential. So now I'm going to read the caption. These 3 principles that build self-trust are simple, not so easy to act on, but always worth it. Self-trust is your light in a dark tunnel. It's the inner voice that encourages you when uncertainty tries to own your agency. Self-trust is the ultimate architect of your ultimate self. It's you being on your team as you go for it because you love yourself too much to hold yourself back and not try. Without it, you play small. You move without creativity. You make decisions only if you have proof. You make comfort your constant and therefore weaken your courage, boldness, and possibility muscles, the mental muscles you need in full strength to carry you into your ultimate vision of life. Without self-trust, you settle. No, thank you. A life without self-trust employed full-time is no life I choose to live ever, personally. It's so easy to overlook or not even look at the attributes like self-trust because you can't drive it, you can't show it off, you can't win an award for it, and that external validation list goes on. However, if you really feel into the words I've shared here, your heart will undoubtedly encourage with a feeling inside of her to keep you paying your highest creative resource, your attention, to doing the necessary work that keeps your self-trust growing strong. Self-trust for me personally is one of the most magnetic elements of my internal wardrobe. It keeps me postured upright as I face life every day directly in the eyes, making it clear I am the autonomous, authentic, creative force that is architecting myself and life into my highest vision. Nothing can stop me from becoming. Can't put a price on self-trust. Build it. You're worth it. It is deep. Self-trust is so deep. I mean, it's everything. It's like I said, without it, you're playing small. You move without creativity. You make decisions only if you have proof. You make comfort your constant. So you're not exercising these muscles of being courageous, of being bold, of having a perspective of possibility, right? Those muscles go, there's atrophy there. And so, you essentially are just settling in life. You're settling. And that's a very sad life, in my opinion. Self-trust, let's go back to the 3, right? And so this was a reel, and then, obviously I read the caption, but I'm going to go to the 3 principles and tease those out first. Be of your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. When you think about somebody that you trust in your life, why do you trust them? It's probably because they back up their words with actions, right? It's so important to understand that the same reasons that you would trust anybody outside of you are likely, in fact, the same reasons that you're going to trust yourself, right? So you have to be someone who, when you say you're going to do something, you fucking do it, period. And it's fine if, you're in a situation where things could take longer. Like I said, I'm going to, write this post on Friday, but you end up writing it on Monday. That's fine. I'm making an example. You can go anywhere you want with examples. There's endless amounts of them, right? But just to drive home the point here, it all comes down to, did you actually do what it is that you said you were going to do, right? If you don't do that, if you don't back your word up with action, you may not realize it at first, but you're moving through your life with a lack of trust in self. And it makes sense. Why would you trust yourself? You say you're going to do this. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do this. I'm going to call. I'm going to do whatever the thing is, but you don't do it. Yeah, you're going to not feel trust in yourself. But when you actually put yourself into, this character of real integrity and accountability, and you back yourself up, your words up with action, whether you realize it or not in the beginning, I promise you, you will eventually realize it, especially when it's compounding and it's just how you're showing up continuously, that you can fucking trust yourself. And we live in uncertainty, right? 2020, everyone's like, oh, uncertainty. It's like, well, we're always uncertain. I don't know what happens when I leave the studio. I don't know what happens 1 minute from now. When you're a path creator, someone who's really authentically creating their life from their heart, from what you truly want to, live and experience, not what anybody else's ideas of your life is or what you think might be good or feel successful, but like what you truly, truly want, right? When you are a path creator, you are facing uncertainty like fucking none other. It's just, and the most amazing part is that the deeper you get into your life as a path creator and you really stick to it, right? You're very loyal and devoted to your authentic self and this life that you're creating. You create a different relationship with uncertainty. And here's why. It's because if you created a different relationship with yourself, you can trust yourself, right? We can't control what happens out there. We're all learning this over and over again in the times that we're living in. We can't control this shit out there. We can control us. And to move with, in our daily lives with strong levels of self-trust, it's saying, I'm capable. It's saying, yes, I can. It's saying, I'm worth it. I'm worth the challenge. I'm worth the fight. I'm worth the battle. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I know that I'm going to give it my best to create the best possible outcome for myself. This is self-trust, right? In a small little package for you. But moving on to the other two principles here. Learn to listen and act from your intuition. The heart leads the way. So I always am connecting authentic self, heart, and intuition. It's really, it's a package. It's a beautiful, beautiful package, right? And, I think that we live, our society, we've been groomed to really turn down the volume of our heart, right? The heart can make you weak. Don't trust the heart. But the heart is where your autonomy is. It's where you can't be controlled. It's where your authentic self lives. And in your authentic self and your most autonomous state, you are going to have the volume up on your intuition. So this second principle to, building self-trust is to really stay rooted into your heart. And in that, be able to listen and then act upon your intuition. Acting upon your intuition is not always going to feel good. So I'm not promising you any rainbow kind of life of no challenge. Nope. Probably going to have a lot more challenge, but those challenges have gold in them for you. But you're never going to get that gold if you don't opt into the fight, right? And so it's really important to understand this authentic self and the intuition it's so a force of one. And to build self-trust, we need to be able to hear and to feel our intuition and then take action upon our intuition. This is how we do it. Think about it in the reverse. If you're never acting upon your intuition, if you're suppressing your intuition, well, you're certainly not trusting yourself. And if you're not ever taking action based off of, I don't know this for sure. I don't have proof of this, but I'm feeling this so much that I'm going to just go for it, right? If you're not ever living in that state, you're never going to develop self-trust. And ultimately, you're going to be creating a life where you're settling. You're going to be creating a real disconnect from your most authentic self. So I don't advise it. Number 2 is to listen and learn, act from your intuition. The heart leads the way. Number 3, embrace uncertainty with optimism and boldness. Be loyal to your potential. I want you to take a moment and just like hear that and really feel it. Be loyal to your potential. Conversely, if you are not being loyal to your potential, what are you being loyal to? An excuse, a limiting belief, fear, all of it. And I'm not saying that with judgment because I understand that it's not easy to embrace uncertainty, to move without proof, and to really be loyal to this potential in yourself, this potential that you it's a vision, it's an idea, but you can't touch it, right? And a lot of times you don't even have proof of it yet, right? You have to live your way into it. I understand that that's very hard. I understand that that's very scary. I know, because the only life that I know is me always opting in to that loyalty, to that devotion, and essentially into the fight, into the arena. And I really, being a very deep reflective thinker and someone who, is here with the show and I talk to you guys all the time and I go on and I speak and I write. I think so deeply about this. Like what in my life? Like why? Why has this been the through line of my life? I mean, I've said it before, I'll continue to say it, but for me, the feeling of not being loyal to my potential, to my authentic self, kind of meshing them together here. Um, that pain I is more unbearable than the pain of anything that I'd faced by choosing to be loyal, by opting into, whatever it is that I'm opting into because my potential is over there. My authentic self says go there, right? And ultimately, I wonder sometimes is like maybe this life of very consistent me being very consistent with this loyalty to my authentic self and essentially my potential, my evolution, is so that I can be in this position to speak very authentically to you because it really is the only life that I've ever known. So going back to me just really, holding empathy and really compassion for those of you who are holding back right now or have been maybe because it is scary to operate without proof in life. Even though inside you want more for yourself. Even if it's like the smallest glimpse, that, there's a chance, but you're just overwhelmed with the fear or the limiting beliefs or the paradigms or, what could happen, like whatever it is, like I get it. But, you know, I'm here to show up and support you to do everything you can to fight for yourself and to be loyal to your potential and to operate from your most authentic self, to stay rooted in your heart and build this self trust. This currency of self trust is literally what will build the greatest wealth that you will ever experience in your life. I say it all the time, the inner shapes the outer. What we feel and believe about our self identity is shaping our reality, period. Doesn't matter what's happening. Sorry, it's how we are perceiving what's happening. It's how we are responding or reacting to what's happening. And that is all coming from our self-identity, how we view ourselves, what we believe about ourselves. If you don't have self-trust there, you have a disconnect from self, right? And you're never really going to live into your fullest potential, your fullest expression. You won't be self-actualized, you won't be on this path of self-actualization to live from your fullest potential. So it's a really, really important piece here in this self-trust building conversation, right? So again, I just want to put emphasis. I know it's not going to be easy. And nothing I'm ever saying is easy, you know? And I'm also not saying that you have to live a life of struggle. I certainly don't. I live a fucking great life. It's, it's beautiful. But it's really also just pivoting, what hard even means, what challenge even means to me, right? Challenge for me is an opportunity. It's literally an opportunity. I've trained my brain to see it that way. And here's the thing, the training the brain, it's not just training the brain. It's I've put myself in positions to actually realize that it is always an opportunity. For me to grow, for me to gain. And if I got to take some punches along the way, I'm not talking about physically, um, then I'm doing it. It's fine because you learn a lot about yourself when you take punches in life, right? And I'll pull into one of my life heroes, but like Rocky, it's like it's all about the get up. And every time you take a punch and you get back up, you are better for it. Period. No, the person who never took a punch in their life, again, I'm not talking about the physical, but someone who just never, who always backed away from challenges. I mean, that's an actually very uncomfortable life. I would bet anything that that individual just doesn't feel good inside. We need challenge to thrive. I'm not saying you need to make yourself struggle in every situation because you can certainly make life harder for yourself than you need to. I'm just saying you need to opt yourself into the fight. You need to opt yourself in. You got to seek the fight. You got to get into the arena. You got to move towards the things that are going to grow you, the things that are going to help you be self-actualized, the things that are going to help you experience the kind of thriving in your life that you want. And the only way you really can do that in life is by, developing your self-trust, because you're going to have to move in those moments without proof, without uncertainty, or maybe in certain situations, depending where you are in your life, you're like, you have some proof. And that's actually the fucking beauty too. When you start really doing this work, you actually do start to develop proof of yourself that you're capable. Maybe I'll use myself as an example. I'm always stepping into new expanded territory in my career life, really in all of my life, but just to focus on career for a moment. And why? Well, because I'm a goal digger, and when I achieve something, there's always something else to achieve afterwards. Like I'm a very, very curious and inspired person, and I'm very, very devoted to my potential. I believe in myself. I see greatness in myself for myself. I have vision that, I'm fueled by, that's leading me. And so I am very so often having to be in kind of newer positions that are going to push me up against my edges and ask me to be really uncomfortable to grow. But what's so rad is that I can, in those moments, even if I don't have, proof of I can do this exact thing because maybe I haven't done that exact thing yet, I can go back in this, my file cabinets up here of my life and go, yeah, but you did that. You did that hard thing. You did that other hard thing. You did, remember when you were scared and you went and you did that, and then oof, and then you grew from that and then you gained from that. So you do acquire, to me, it's the most important kind of proof, which is the proof about who you are. It's all about who you fucking are, right? This whole thing, this whole game called life. You get that clear, you know who you are, your authentic self, you're connected to your heart, the true you, what you really want for yourself in your life and what you're really willing to, do to achieve it, to experience it, what really matters to you, all of this stuff that makes you authentically you. Man, when you know this information about yourself, you walk through life different. You fucking walk through life different. People can't just come in and push you around, tell you who you are, or tell you how you should be. No, and I'm not saying you're a hard ass and you're a fixed mindset. I'm not saying you can't take advice and you can't, hear, especially from your loved ones. Hopefully you have loved ones and counsel the people that you can trust, or even a person that you can trust. I'm not saying that at all, but I am saying this. You know who you fucking are. When you know who you are, you operate with conviction, right? And very, just as much as knowing who you are is important, you got to know who you're becoming. Who's your future you? Who are you becoming? And that is a very big conversation that is going to be coming up on the podcast later, because so much of my work is centered around this future version of yourself, right? And for those of you who are already familiar, my community, I'm always talking about your future self, your highest self. In my world, she's my muse. She's literally my North Star, the future version of me, right? So you got to know who you are, your authentic self, and who it is that you're becoming. And one of the greatest attributes that helps you to really get rooted in who you are and to develop a relationship and really a vision, a pathway to this future vision, to this future version of you is the attribute of self-trust. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to invite you to take a moment to check out this post. I put the link to it in the show notes so you can actually go through and read it again. The whole when I create these episodes where I am teasing out a prior Instagram post, I'm aware that we all learn in different ways. Some of you are not really readers, and that's cool. That's why it's fun for me to actually, bring what I write into these captions and tease them out so that you can take it in from an auditory standpoint, because I know a lot of people learn really great in that way too. I love both, so hopefully we'll take a moment to really just think about some of the things that, I shared here and beyond that, I hope that, it evoked some inspiration to really, just step into the arena deeper and to do the work, really think about these principles that I shared with you and appreciate that you can absolutely develop more self-trust in your life. And that when you do, everything fucking changes. You play the game of life differently, right? So let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. Hit me up on Instagram. It's the best place to connect with me. I'm at Roxy Look. That's my personal. I'm also at Black Belt Beauty. But I love on my personal page and the DMs. This is where I get really, really active with all of you out there. So definitely don't be shy. Connect with me. Let me know. Let me know how this episode made you feel. Let me know, your thoughts and your feelings around self-trust. I love connecting with you. That's what I'm here for. So don't hold back. Step into the arena. Come talk to me. If you have not already given this podcast a 5-star rating review, please do so. It means so much to me and my team and to all the other people who are going to be able to become aware of Black Belt Beauty Radio because you're helping it grow and get out there more. So there's a very easy link to do that. I've placed in the episode show notes. Takes 2 minutes, and I thank you all in advance who will take the time to do it. So you guys, build that self-trust, connect with me more, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode, you guys. If you loved it, please share it on your social. Throw it up on your Instagram stories and tag me. I'm at Black Belt Beauty. I am also at Roxy Look, RoxyLook. I love connecting with you guys. This is a conversation that I want to just continue growing with you guys. So if you feel inspired to hit me up, do so in that space. I always enjoy hearing from you. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so by rating it and reviewing it via iTunes. It's such supportive help, you guys. It really helps the visibility of this podcast. So I appreciate and thank you in advance for doing that. And on that note, you guys, I'm signing off with all my love and always looking forward to catching you on the next.